Good evening and welcome to CBU's first ever newscast for Lancers'TV. I'm AspenTaylor.
And I'm Michaela Malneritch. As CBU students start off their second month of their fall semester, some have already adjusted to their academic routines, while others are still stuck in the summer mindset.
Yeah, it's taken a little bit, but I'm back on track, I guess.
I've realized how much I've had to actually focus on schoolwork instead of just chilling on Netflix or YouTube or video games.
Being pretty far from home.
Adapting to college itself.
Probably just doing my homework.
This year, I'm trying to have as much fun as I can. This is my senior year, so it'll be my last year here, and I'm just trying to take in all that CBU has to offer.
Get yourself out, be part of the school in some way.
Many international students at CBU experience culture shock and cultural questions that are at times offensive. Reporter Reagan Melfi covers the transitions that these students face.
Really had the shock about the language, about the accent of people, how they were reacting, and the food was a big shock because, I mean, it's pretty fat food, so I had to adapt myself.
I'm from Tanzania, and my parents visited the States, and someone told me about CBU, and they came for a tour, they liked it, and so I applied.
Probably the fact that they were talking fast, because sometimes they were speaking very fast and I couldn't understand, so it was pretty hard for me.
For a moment I was mad because I felt like this is a decision that I should be able to make. As an adult now, I'm going to the world, like I should be able to make my own mistakes and learn from them. But a part of me was glad that they believe in this university.
Construction on the long-awaited and highly anticipated Events Center is continuing swift progress east of Lancer Arms and parallel to the 91 freeway. The Events Center will be the new home for volleyball games, basketball games, chapel, and graduation. Construction is on the track for April 2017 grand opening just in time for graduation in May. When the Events Center is finished, there will be 3 tiers of seating allowing just over 6,000 spectators. Directors of Athletics Micah Parker looks forward to hosting athletics in the new Events Center.
So having the Events Center, having that much more space, now the challenge is to fill that.
Nice.
Is to fill that and have just a tremendous, tremendous environment. So we have the opportunity to work with getting as many people as we possibly can in the community involved. We want to have CBU athletics, our athletic events that we have, for the Inland Empire. We want to be the choice for good, wholesome family, sports entertainment. So that facility is going to allow us to do that.
The annual event ran at CBU where a woman is encouraged to twerp a guy to a certain event. It continues to hold a legacy of bringing fellow students together.
Where did the idea of twerp come from? It's a long-standing tradition here at CBU, and so ever since I was a student, it has been happening. So it's been over 10, 15 years. But Sadie Hawkins, the theme of Sadie Hawkins has always been a very popular school theme. So I think so.
With your friends that ended up getting married and they were twerp dates, was that their first initial?
This was years ago, and we twerped her off, or that was one of their first dates, and then they ended up dating and they are married, and so it's really fun.
Safety is always important whether you are on or off campus, but when you are on campus, public safety has got your back. Public safety not only knows how to keep the CBU campus safe, but they also know all things related to parking and car permit. If you ever need to get a parking permit or report an illegally parked car, go on over to the Public Safety Office. If you ever find yourself in danger or see suspicious activity, contact Public Safety right away and they will rush to the scene. Always remember to be alert and aware of your surroundings so you don't have to make that public safety call. You can also use additional safety measures by downloading the Live Safe app. The Live Safe app gives students important safety tips, reminders, and alerts of danger. If there is ever danger on campus or you have any car-related inquiries, please call Public Safety at 951-343-4311 or visit their office in Lancer Arms Unit 43.
Hey, did you know that Wanda serves Starbucks? Here's something to perk up your day.
CBU students aren't the only ones preparing for a new school year. English teachers from the nonprofit organization Globally Connected are excited to take their education beyond the classroom. Over the past year, co-founders of Globally Connected, Sherry McKay and Celine Nielsen, have been teaching English as a second language to Afghan refugees from the Inland Empire at a local church in Riverside.
Because our background is ESL education, we decided to start with ESL training, and because it's a great need of the refugees, especially the women who have small children and they cannot attend classes.
These students are not only going to school to possibly continue their education, but to be contributing members of the new community they now call home.
For some of them, the road is to go on to adult school, get a GED, go to college. For others, it is more functional, getting them to do well in the community.
The students themselves are appreciative of their teachers and look forward to the new school year.
I'm very happy here, and I thank for my teachers, Mrs. Sherry and Mrs. Dr. Celine.
McKay and Nielsen are inviting the community, especially college students, to engage with the refugees and break down cultural barriers.
We would like to invite them and to meet with the refugees, because the refugee is not a different species. They're people. In order to get over this, fear of the unknown, I think they need to connect.
Volunteers can get involved by helping teach English, donating funds, and even driving the students to school.
And having students from CBU part of that growth, globally connected, and helping support our refugee population, the sky's the limit.
CBU is already making steps towards creating a community with the refugees. The film and the theater departments are beginning to collaborate on a series of video projects in hopes to tell the stories of the refugees.
Anything that helps refugees kind of have a voice is always wonderful.
To get involved, visit www.globalyconnected.com. And Now is remodeling one of their Riverside locations to improve the efficiency of this fast food chain. Located on the corner of Madison and Indiana, this location is convenient for residents in the southern part of Riverside, and it's been a late-night hangout for California Baptist University students. With the remodeling of more grills and lanes for the drive-through windows, the walk-up ordering window will now include more standing room for customers as well. The employees at this location have been temporarily moved to other locations until the remodeling is complete in December. The tracks going through the downtown area of Riverside continue to rise in danger. Reporter AspenTaylor explains why it's so dangerous. Railways in Riverside are easily accessible to pedestrians, especially in the downtown area. According to a recent study, every 3 hours someone is hit by a train in the country. In April of this year, a 14-year-old girl hit by the Metrolink luckily survived, taking a close call when she sat between the two tracks just before the incident. The Metrolink reaches speeds up to 79 miles per hour, and with freight trains traveling at about 55 miles per hour with double the weight. And just a year ago, a man was hit and killed by a freight train on the cross streets of Magnolia and Brockton on the south side of the tracks.
The places you go down, it's easy access to come in, so if you're like drunk or high or or you want to commit suicide, it's going to be that easy.
Even with the fencing that is up, the homeless find ways to get through and near the railroad. BNSF caters to the public safety with trains and railways. However, enforcement is one way BNSF tries to keep people safe. In doing so, they started something called Officer on the Train.
We'll put police officers on our trains. We'll go through communities, and those people that are either trespassing on railroad right-of-ways or trying to beat the train would be cited, either warned or cited, for taking such a dangerous step.
With this ongoing issue, Metrolink commuters talk about putting up barriers for the safety of the public.
There should be some kind of gate, fence, something, electrical, to not let you come inside.
The city of Riverside appealed for a quiet zone where engineers will no longer blow the whistle in most cases. In doing that, supplemental safety measures will be enforced, extra gates and concrete medians will be placed to hopefully help with car and train collisions, but not so much in keeping pedestrians from accessing the tracks.
And so people need to understand, stay off the tracks. You're not going to hear the train coming. Don't try to beat that train. Certainly don't go around the gates. You could be hit by a train coming in the opposite direction when one train passes.
As BNSF continues to do their best at bringing awareness to the public is asked to take action as well.
If you see something, say something. If you see other people out there doing that or friends of yours that are going to go do something like that, make sure you talk to them and you tell them how dangerous it is. You certainly, you learn as a kid not to run in the street. You certainly wouldn't go out and walk or jog on the freeway. Certainly don't do that on the railroad tracks because it can have deadly consequences.
For more information on train safety, visit Operation Lifesaver and click under the Rail Safety tab. Stay safe and be aware of trains. I'm AspenTaylor reporting for Lancers'TV.
God, I just wanna be with you.
Because of that question, what does it say about God, we're able to redirect, okay, that no, this word isn't about me, it's about God. And it's a whole story about how He saves everybody, and it's all for His glory.
We set goals and try to apply the scripture that we went over. So community has helped me because the next week we have to come back and say whether or not we completed that goal.
I would say the most impactful thing about leading a tribe is just being able to invest in people and other students.
Lights are up and flag football kicks off. Come catch all the action with some of CBU's returning Fortuna champions, the Bombshells and Goon Squad. Who will you be cheering on this year? Does your team have what it takes to win a Lake East title? Girls kick off at 7 p.m. following the boys just after at 8 p.m. Join us under the lights Monday nights in the front lawn. Get your Kona ice and head over to predict who will take on the annual Fortuna Bowl coming up November 5th.
You're watching CBU's local sports show. Woo!
Women's volleyball coming out strong on their first match against Notre Dame last Wednesday, unfortunately not strong enough to hold on towards the end. Playing all 5 matches with a final score of 2-3 Notre Dame. The Lancers made a comeback Saturday with a tough matchup against Concordia University in Irvine, but playing strong and brought them home a 3-2 victory, leaving them with a 4-1 overall record for the season as of now. As for women's soccer, they stand with an overall record of 3-4-2. While in Hawaii, the Lancers took on Hilo Saturday to score in the last 18 minutes, winning 1-0 to move on to Oahu for the remaining games. Men's soccer holding the W in Hawaii. First game and first goal happened in just 23 minutes into the first half. They continued to hit the net with a final score of 3-0, standing with an overall record of 6-3. And on to men's water polo. Over the weekend, they took home 2 more wins against Redlands and McKendree, putting them at an overall 13-7 record, heading into the Western Water Polo Association road trip to UC San Diego this coming Saturday. And a fight to watch in UFC over this past weekend. Dan Henderson, a middleweight contender, throws on his gloves for his last fight of his career, barely missing the belt by unanimous decision. After 20 years in the sport and the oldest fighter to earn a knockout victory, Dan Henderson finishes up his career with a title fight against Michael Bisping for UFC 204. Throughout Henderson's entire career, throwing on another pair of gloves wasn't his only motive.
With the exception of getting paid, as for my job, I happen to love what I do, and the challenge of it gets me excited. The bigger the challenge, the more excited I get. Being able to test myself in that way, and getting paid always helps.
After UFC 199 versus Lombard, Henderson said that it was possible that was going to be his last fight, that he was right there ready for retirement with his family, kids, and everyone in the cage.
Then they offered me a title fight. So, I got to feel a little bit of that, and, it's a sense of, I guess sadness that I won't be competing anymore, but also a sense of happiness that I won't have to train and prepare for a fight, and I'll get to relax a little bit more and kind of start a different chapter in life.
a chapter that will still consist of the sport he loves.
You know, just still being involved in the sport, promoting MMA worldwide is something I'd like to do, as well as coaching my team here that, you know, in coaching it'll help me stay in shape so I don't get too out of shape when I retire.
And no matter what is going on in the fighting world, Henderson is always staying busy with his main focus, his family.
You know, outside of MMA is just my family and kids, and they keep me pretty busy, and my gym. You know, all those things kind of make the days go by pretty fast, you know, with keeping me busy all the time.
Speaking family, Henderson's son Reese won't be following the MMA career but picks up the sport of golf, just like his aunt who competes in the LPGA, Selene Henderson. A name that will continue to carry legacies.
Thank you for watching Lancers TV. Tune in for our next show. I'm Michaela Malneritch.
And I'm Aspen Taylor. Have a blessed night.